Good Wednesday morning. I've already had a day as I blew out a tire on the Southern State Parkway, and I drove here right around the Nassau-Suffolk border with a giant gash in my tire. Now, it was one of those run flats, but I made it. I put on the hazards. I got in the right lane. I did about 50 miles an hour, and I was gripping the steering wheel, white-knuckling it, going, I better get there on time. I better get there on time. I better get there on time. I've never been late, knock on wood, one time since I've been doing mornings all the way back in 2010 in Pittsburgh. Today was not going to be the day. I refuse to let it happen. So I made it here. I'm parked out front with a gash tire. We've got more Julius Randle to talk about. We got Tiger Woods to talk about. We got NFL draft to talk about. I know what you're going to say about last night on Ben Roethlisberger night as your team does what they need to do. Good morning, Boomer. How are you?
Hey, good morning, G. And you know what? I've been there, done that with you, and this is the second year in a row now.
Yep, 2 years
that
in a
you've
row.
had one of these flats. And I think the last time you sent who
Big
you
Zoo.
sent?
I said Big
You sent
Zoo
Big
up
Zoo to
there.
go get you a new tire.
Yeah.
That's right. Yes. So I don't know. Maybe Anthony Gallo could do that for you. You know, when he decides to get here this morning. So he did get me the donut yesterday. So I'm very happy about that. Hey, look, man. We've all been there. You know, and it sucks. It absolutely sucks. The hazard lights on. I think Marash told me he sped past you as he, on the Kosciuszko Bridge. So,
Oh, really? Did he see me?
well, that's what he said this morning. I don't know if he actually saw you, but he said he saw. Well, I don't know if he was kidding or not, but I'm assuming that you guys take the same
Yes.
way into work.
Same route, yeah.
And maybe he saw you with your hazards on.
I had no choice. I was
went
going
flying
so
past you.
slow.
Yeah, well, you had no choice because you have that run flat tire, so you made it. I mean, it got you to where you need to go. And I know this is like going to be a source for you now, thinking like, what are you going to do with the tire? How are you going to get home? But we got 4 hours to figure it out.
No, I know, and I'm going to try to not think about it. I just kind of want to slough it off until after the show because I don't want to be distracted. Like, I
That's
can't.
right, but
There's
part of-
nothing worse as a talk show host than being distracted.
Well, we were distracted yesterday by the donuts from the donut pub, so
yeah,
it's
but
okay
that's
to
what
be a
we were
little
focused.
bit distracted.
We
but
were
you know,
focused on that. That was part of the show. I don't want this to be the entire show.
well, we're not
you
going to
know?
talk for about 4 hours, but we
Yeah.
all know it's hanging out there.
It is hanging out
And anybody in your situation would have it hanging out there. So it's okay to have it hang out there, but that's
It's hanging
fine.
out there.
But I will tell you, I have a real hockey team. And this guy, Frank Vetrano, who we got from Florida at the trade, right before the trade deadline, is unbelievable,
there.
man.
I went to Bellport High School with a Frank Vetrano.
Did you really?
No.
I mean, this guy's got 5 goals in 7 games already. He's
Yeah.
like on the Pavel Bori pace that we when we traded for Pavel Bori back in 2001, 2002. In 12 games, he had 20 points. He had 12 goals and 8 assists. And then his knee got hurt the next year, but he was like a goal-scoring phenom. And now all of a sudden, I'm not saying that Frank Vetrano's as good as Pavel Bori is, but I'm just telling you, it's that kind of impact that he's having. And to do it the way that they did it last night in Pittsburgh on Ben Roethlisberger night
That's
of all
right.
night. Like,
Yeah.
I needed that last night.
Sure.
I figured maybe they put him on the 4th line or something
Ha!
and
He
line him up
looked
there
good.
with Brian Boyle. But he did look good last night, and the Rangers looked great last night. And that is a huge win for them. And it just goes to show you that Chris Drury's made some really terrific trades here without losing too much of the bigger assets that they have. And this kid, Braden Schneider, on defense is a terrific young player. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that Jeff Gordon, the previous GM, did here with John Davidson. John Davidson ended up getting Panarin here. And they've basically, built this team, and then Chris Drury went and tweaked this team in the offseason and then again at the trading deadline. And I'm telling you, they're playing about as good as they've played in the last 5 years. And it looks good, man. They look fast. They look young. They look hungry. They're playing with a gritty attitude with the guys that they added. And I'm telling you, this is now all of a sudden it takes it looks like a really good, deep hockey playoff run team. It really does. And then they got great goaltending. So you have all the attributes of that. I don't know if they're as good as the Flames or the Wild.
Oh, well, let's
or
not start
Denver.
thinking about
They're
the Western Conference
teams,
now.
but
Come on, let's not get too
the
cocky.
teams you got to
here,
worry
really.
about are you got to worry about Tampa. You got to worry about
Carolina.
Carolina, definitely. And Carolina lost one of their players last night. Could
Florida.
be a significant industry. And Florida, who's been the best team, along with Carolina in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah,
since the
let's
season started.
worry about that first before you.
The problem is you got Ovechkin and Backstrom, and Those guys down
And the
in
Penguins
Washington,
won't be a pushover either, even
no,
though
they
you beat
aren't.
them last
Of
night.
course, that's what I'm saying. They're
Yeah.
not going to be a pushover. So it never is. The 16 games are incredibly difficult to win in order to win the Stanley Cup. But I will say, as this team has been building all year long, it's been a great regular season. It's been a fun regular season. Can't wait to go to the Garden Friday night for Islanders Rangers.
No, you'll be there.
And, my son-in-law played his
Dimitri?
800th game last night.
I saw on Instagram, yeah.
That's right. So
Dimitri going
congratulations
with you?
to Matt. Yeah.
Dimitri?
Yeah. So I said congratulations to Matt on his 800th, and I was just glad it didn't come Friday night. Because I wouldn't have been congratulating him.
Planksker?
No. Williams.
Randy?
Yeah.
Just the 3 years?
No, and Aaron.
And Aaron, okay.
We got a playoff team. Yeah. It's great. It's absolutely great. It's so much fun to watch. And they play Detroit tonight. Can't wait to get there in front of the TV and watch the game. I mean, there's so much to look forward to now.
Yeah, all I was thinking about as I was going 45 miles an hour on the LIE is how this was going to be the Open, too.
Listen,
I'm driving right into a hockey
propeller. We could sit here and take
propeller.
a hammer to our heads and talk about Julius Randle not wanting to be here, wanting to be here, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know something's got to change there. I mean, I don't know how obvious it is. I mean, how long have we been talking about this?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the new stuff yesterday was the rumblings that he maybe wants out. I mean, it's something we did mention yesterday. I said, he's acting as if he doesn't want to be here.
Well, fine. Whatever.
But it's not so easy to get rid of him. So I wish it were. I wish he hadn't signed that contract last year. I wish they were in a situation where it was very, very easy to move on from him. But the fact that this guy's got any sort of beef with the organization is crazy to me.
I think it's more, I would say it's not so much the organization as it is with the way that he's reacting to the fans' reaction to Obi Toppin and to his play in particular. So, he probably feels like he's not wanted here. Today's athlete.
All Tom Thibodeau has done is had his back this entire year. He still plays him too many minutes. I mean,
you hear what you're saying?
What?
That's why.
Oh, yeah, but it doesn't matter what I say. You said he doesn't want to be wanted. The organization clearly wants him. They signed him to an extension. The coach still kisses his ass. Isn't that what matters?
Right, but everything went south, and he's played poorly this year. And he is in the eye of the public scorn, and all the things you just said. It does. Yeah, the coach has got his back for sure because the coach has got to have his back because it's the NBA. And even though the coach does have his back, his body language and his attitude suck, and it is definitely a negative on the rest of the players on the team. But just because the coach has his back, and maybe Worldwide West does, and Leon Rose, I really don't know what Leon Rose is doing, but I don't know. That doesn't matter. What matters is he's out on the basketball court. The fans are not happy with him. The fans are calling for his replacement in Obi Toppin. They want to see athleticism. They want to see length. They want to see guys hustling back on defense and getting rebounds as opposed to, throwing the ball away, getting into it with the officials, getting teed up, throwing the ball. All these idiotic things that have gone on around him. That's why he wants out of here, because the fans now are on him. So
let me ask you though, if you're right, so play Julius Randle as let's do a little role play here, if you will. All right, I am Leon Rose. You're Julius Randle.
Where you been?
I've been hiding in my office, Julius.
Okay.
All right. So tell me what your problem is.
Look, it's obvious that I'm not playing well. I'm not comfortable playing here at the Garden. The fans obviously don't want me here. They want to see younger players. But
we want you here. Like the coach is playing you significant minutes, and we gave you a contract.
I understand. I said, but we got to try to relieve this pressure. And if you can find me a place to go and play, I'd really appreciate that, because this obviously is not going well for me. It's just not.
I mean, is that reason enough to force your way out? Honestly. You got some fans on your ass?
It's not some fans. It's the entire fan base.
Unjustified, though, the way he's acting.
But again, that's the point. I think they're past the point of no return in regards to, where his mental state of mind is when it comes to playing in Madison Square Garden. And it's the anger issues. It's the technical fouls. It's the body language. It's the lazy defense. It's the bitching and complaining about every little thing that goes on the basketball court, whether he gets a foul called against him or he doesn't get a foul called on him, meaning when he has the ball in his hands. It's everything. It's the poor shooting. It's the turnovers. It's kind of like the fire hydrant player on offense where you give him the ball and he just stands there and bounces it. And I saw it the other night, watching the game the other night. He missed that three-point shot, and it was a bad three-point shot. After that, I saw a guy that really didn't want to shoot anymore, but was more involved in the offense, getting the rebound and getting rid of the ball quickly and moving the ball down the basketball court like he should be doing it. Mm-hmm. But he, in his mind, remember now, because of his success last year, because of his new contract coming into this year, he's the guy now that wants to shoot the ball at the end of the game to try to win the game. And that hasn't worked out for him.
No.
And, the thing about it is, like, everybody should have a chance to do that. You should be hitting the open man. Yeah, I want Walt Frazier doing this back in the 60s and 70s. But Walt Frazier wasn't also, like, so selfish that he kept the ball and he always wanted to take the last shot. He would always find the open man. That team would always find the open man because that coach would always tell them, move the ball, keep moving, keep your feet moving. It wasn't nearly the amount of isolation that there is today. And he's not an isolation player. And I think teams are playing him differently. They're double teaming him more. And the next thing you know, there's these turnovers. And then, when the turnover happens, you can see how frustrated he is, especially when he's playing in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
I think away from home, he's a little bit more relaxed. But at Madison Square Garden right now, it's just, you can tell, gee, we've been around here a long time. You know when a fan base turns on a player.
No, it's over. It turned on like a Doberman. But let me ask you this.
So that's my point, Leon Rose.
Yeah, but now we've gotten to the point now where any old schlub can ask out. Like, it used to be the top-end players.
Well, he's supposed to be a top-end
But he's not. We know that. So the top-end players could ask out and force themselves out. Like we saw with Anthony Davis. We saw it with Kyrie Irving. We saw it back in the day when Dwight Howard was actually a good player with the Orlando Magic, the original Dwightmare, when that happened. But now we're getting Ben Simmons, who can't play in the playoffs and hasn't played in I don't know how long, forcing himself out. And now Julius Randle has had one of the worst seasons in recent memory, actually coming off of what he did last year to this year. One of the worst turnarounds I've seen for a healthy guy, like ever. And now he's forcing himself out? Is that where we're at the NBA? Where does it stop?
All right, you can blame Julius Randle all you want this morning. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say that the Knicks needed to get rid of him anyway. I'm like, from my perspective, the Knicks need to move him. They need to move on from him, and he's got to go find a better place to play, a better place where he feels more comfortable. Because right now, it is at an untenable situation where, there's only, 5 or 6 games left to go in the season, and the fan base is turned on him. He knows it. He feels it. He sees it. We all see it. So I don't care whether or not he wants out. The Knicks need to move him out.
Yeah.
I mean, so what? I mean, if he wants out now because we all have been talking about the Knicks moving him out, that's the other thing, too, that we don't see. We don't see, how he's attacked on social media. At least we put our names and our voices to whatever criticism we're handling. So
yeah, but
But I'm just telling you.
But this is the way it is. We react to what happens.
If he wants out, good for him. Because we have been calling for them to move him out of here anyway.
You want him to leave.
So it's not really his fault. I think it's a constant pounding of negativity that has been hitting him for, the last 3 months at least. I mean, and then his actions on the court enhance the criticism, the intensity of the criticism. And I don't blame him as a human being first, a basketball player second, feeling the way that he does about the way that he's been treated. And if he does want out, if that is true, then he has every right to feel that way after the way he's played this year and the way he's been treated by the fan base and by the media here, including us.
That's right. Very well said, Boomer. He wants out. We want him out. So get out, Boomer and Gio on the fan.
It's all about the delivery, G. I mean, you can't say it like that. You got to say, you know what, you probably need to go play somewhere else. We need to move on from you. We have
you need to be finished.
Right, exactly. So I just try to make a little bit of sense about it so I understand exactly what needs to be done.
All right, Boomer and Gio on the fan and CBS Sports Network. Just getting started on this Wednesday.